everybody. So I haven't done a video in a hot minute, and this isn't going to be my normal videos either. Hello. Sorry, I have a little hair that I got distracted by. This is going to be like a random fact that I know, and it occurred to me a while ago, actually, that I don't, okay. It occurred to me a while ago that I know something that maybe a lot of people don't know, or some people that I know don't know. But it doesn't occur to me often that I actually would know something that's not about like a movie or a TV show that somebody doesn't know. But I do know something that I think is really cool. And I heard a pastor's sermon the other day, and this pastor is phenomenal. But there was one thing that they said, and it just bugged the snot out of me, and it wouldn't have bugged me a couple of years ago because I didn't know any better. But I have had several friends and family members that have gone to Israel, and so they have come back and they have told me things that they learned about biblical text that they're like, this is not what we as Americans think it is. That's not what it means. And one of those things was, some of you might remember the story of the rich young man who went to Jesus and said, what do I need to do to go to heaven? And Jesus told him, and he said, all these things I've done. And he said, go sell all of your riches. And the young man went away sad. And so then Jesus told the the disciples asked, I'm going to screw it up, but the disciples asked him a question about, rich people going to heaven or something like that. And Jesus said, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter heaven. And they go, well, then who can go to heaven? And so as an American and my whole life growing up, my interpretation of that was a literal camel going through the eye of a sewing needle, that little teeny tiny eye of the needle. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if you're rich, you can never go to heaven. But as I've gotten older, it never really occurred to me until I heard what the actual meaning of that was. So in the Bible, it talks about, sorry, I'm distracted. I'm also preparing to watch The Hobbit. Anyways, so let's get back to what I was saying. In the Bible, in the biblical times, and in the Bible, it talks about they had the main gate going into Jerusalem, and then they had the smaller gates. And so if the main gate was shut up for the night, you would have to come through one of the smaller gates, which is, I want to say it's probably smaller than our doors, or maybe, yeah, I would guess based on what I'm about to tell you that it's smaller than our doors. It was small enough for basically one person to fit through. And so if somebody, let's say a rich man, were returning from a journey where he had just bought a bunch of wares or whatever, or, had gone to sell stuff and was coming back with a lot of it, or for whatever reason is coming with his camel loaded, what he would have to do if it was after those gates were closed, he would have to come through that door. So he would have to unload everything off of his camel. And then he would have to bring everything in through that door. And then he would have to bring his camel in through that door. But the door was so small that the camel could not just walk through it. The camel would have to crawl through the door to get through. And then he would have to reload up the camel and go about his way. And so when it's saying it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for the rich man to get into heaven, or a rich man to get into heaven, it's not saying it's impossible. It's just saying, yeah, it's a chore, it's difficult, it's a process, it takes a lot of work. And that just blows my mind that I went from thinking that it was talking about a sewing needle to learning that it actually was talking about a gate that was called the eye of a needle. And if you don't believe me, Google it, because after I heard this pastor talk, I was like, maybe I misunderstood what my friend or my family member, I think it was my sister, had told me. I was like, maybe I misunderstood it. And so I Googled it, and I was like, nope, I did not misunderstand it. This is really what it meant. And so I've learned so many cool things, and it is my goal one day to make it to Israel. So this is a different spin on things that take up space in my brain. And this is something that I actually am really excited that I know. But anyways, I hope you're having a fabulous day. I feel like crud, so I'm going to curl up on my couch, drink some water, and watch The Hobbit. Love you. Bye!